Hey guys, it is Joey, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to compress your 4K raw lossless footage after you edit. So once you've finished and you are archiving your project, I'll show you how to compress it to get around 90% savings depending on your bit rates and things like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we are here in the Ferguson computer. What I am going to be doing is showing you how to archive a project. So we are in our Creative Cloud. Now I like to use this tool called Glary Utilities, and I'm using the free version. You can scan for issues and it'll do things like clean up. In their advanced tools, they have in files and folders, you go to disk space analyzer, and this is really handy. So I just analyze my disk space. I'll show you what I mean by that. So you can see I've got it sorted by size, and this is our D drive. You can see even this MP4 file just by itself is like 90 gigabytes. So I reckon I'm going to be doing proxies of all of these. So you're taking your proxy from lossless down to stream standard. So it's still the high res, it's still the bitrate standard of a stream, but instead of having it raw straight out of the camera with a 90 gigabyte file or an 89.1 gigabyte file, then that should come down to about 1 gigabyte or less even. So we'll find out by doing this. So I right click there, I open it in Explorer. This is the file itself. There's already some proxies in here that I can see Steve has been using. Then what I want to do is, because he's got those created through Premiere and I don't want to affect his project at all, but I want to replace the files because I want to pretty much get rid of all of this data and replace it with the proxy versions, but in a lower resolution. So you can see these are a lower resolution. If I go onto the bigger files, they're actually a larger resolution. So these are like the 4K ones. So yeah, that's a 4K file there. Then the proxy is actually 1024 by 540 and it's got a bit rate of 10 megabytes per second. So the proxy itself about 8 megabytes. The original file is like 340 megabytes. That's all good. Premiere's proxies are not bad, but it does reduce the actual resolution of the image. So that's not what we want. We want a full resolution proxy bitrate video with the exact same file name to replace over the top of the original, so that Premiere just automatically links it straight to the new proxy. It's still at full resolution. So if you ever need to go in and change anything, this is an archived version. So this is for a finished project when you're archiving it. And if you ever need to go back and change anything, you still have a full resolution proxy, but it's 1/10 the file size of your original footage. So I'll show you how to do it. Let's jump into Handbrake. So we open up this one. We go folder, not the proxies folder. So what I want to do is move Stevie's one out just for a moment. I'll just put it there just so that I've only got the original files in here. And then what I want to do is click on folder in Handbrake. This is also like a free tool. So links in the description for these. Go to Handbrake, click on the footage, click back on here and select folder. Now this is the folder that we determined was the folder with the most amount of storage usage. So we're pretty much just archiving the biggest one. Then that'll save you like 100 gigabytes or maybe 80 gigabytes or something like that. And then you'll be good for a minute and you can go in and archive them as you need to. This will scan all of your files. It'll scan all of your files. I'm just going to go to the bathroom while it scans all of your files, and I'll be back once it's finished scanning your files. This is still scanning those files, it seems. So yeah, I hope you guys like the audio. I took off this little fluffy thing and decided to use the popper stopper instead, and I think it definitely sounds a hell of a lot better when I use this setup than this one. Previously I just used this for convenience, just because it's a lot easier to shove one of these foam things over the top of the microphone and just talk into that. But I find it doesn't actually do a very good at popper stopping. You still get those really harsh P's and B's, and with the popper stopper here that I'm talking into, I can say Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers and it doesn't even pop at all. So that's really good, definitely what you want. Yeah, this is on 99%, it is pretty much done. This is going to be a bit of a long video to actually record, so that's alright, let's go ahead. What you want to do is go into your tools, preferences, output files, set your output destination to a folder called proxy. So I just browse, create a new folder called proxy, and put it in there. Tick always use default path for each new name generated. And in your file format, get rid of title and just have it as source only source. Untick change case to title case, and that will actually leave it exactly the same file name, which is what you want. And then replace underscores, maybe get rid of that as well, just in case there's underscores in your file names. For the MP4 file extension, you want to tick always use MP4 and then ask to overwrite file. You're putting it into an empty proxy folder anyway, but just make it ask you just in case. And then once you have set up all of that, that's all good. I'm just going to shut this door because there's lawn mowing going on. Okay. And yeah, so that's good. We go back and in our presets, now what we want to do is go into our format is MP4, our dimensions, automatic modulus 2, it should automatically pick your dimensions. In your filters, leave those. Video, frame rate, same as source, constant frame rate. Quality, now you can see here, x264 scale, logarithmic, lower values, suggested values are 18 to 20 for standard def, 20 to 23 for high def. So that's for your actual bit rate. This is setting the bit rate. You can set the bit rate manually here. I like to just set the quality to like 24 or 25, and that's more than enough to cover your HD 4K footage. Maybe even 30 if we're using 4K footage, okay? Then in your audio, you want your AAC, you want your audio bitrate to be 320, and subtitles and chapters, you can just leave those if you want. Now I can save a new preset and call it custom res proxy. In your category, custom presets, dimensions, always use source. So that's always going to use the source resolution. Then your audio, go in here again and change that to 320 and hit apply, and that's all. Hit add. Then in your presets, custom res proxy, the one that I just created and named. And then you can double check your actual list. So in your title, check on the next one. It's got custom res proxy. It's got the same dimensions, right? I go back up to number 1 is 1080, and that matches the source. Number 3, same dimensions, matches the source. Everything is going here into this proxy folder, and the file name looks exactly the same as the file name. So that's all good to go. I go back up to number 1, hit this button here, go add all. So this is the drop down button next to add to queue, and then hit add all. Handbrake will actually like fully glitch out for a moment, and that's because you've just added like 100 or 75 files or however many video files batched into your queue. So it'll glitch for a moment, then it'll come up in your queue 76, and you can double check everything in the queue here. You can see the levels, you can see the audio, everything looks like it's all good. Stats, activity log, yep. I would say that's pretty all good. 30 RF. You can see that's my quality setting, and pretty much if it's got the quality setting there that you custom set, it's got all of the other custom settings as well. So you can quit that, hit the start queue button, and it will go ahead and encode all of this. Now while it's doing that, I'll go ahead and jump over to this proxy folder, and you can see that it's actually converting them quite quickly. It's a lot faster than Media Encoder because this is actually like a remuxer, so it just kind of puts it into a new codec shell instead of actually converting the footage frame by frame, which is really cool. So yeah, I will go ahead and leave this for a little bit as well. And when it is finished encoding, I'll show you guys the difference of file space. Okay, so I think it's finally done. So what we do now is highlight all of these and go properties, and we can see that it has brought all of these files down to 975 megabytes. So now what I'll do is I will view details, sort by size, find out that 89 gigabyte file actually came all the way down to 613 meg, and it's still actually there sitting in 4K res. You get really nice resolution there. So I go into my properties and details. It says multiple values in here, but if I were to open it up in Premiere, so I'm not going to replace them just yet. You always want to double check your proxies before actually replacing anything. So I'll just open it up in Premiere. Just drop it in. And check the sequence settings. So it's 24 FPS at 38. I'll put the previews up into 4K as well. I can see all my footage here is looking really good.
And for me is that every business is a media business. Doesn't matter if you sell tires, doesn't matter if you sell mechanical work, doesn't matter if you're a doctor, doesn't matter what you do. If you are running a business, you are a media company first. And secondly, you are a retailer, you are whatever it is that you do, you're on the top.
Cool. So yeah, that's about it for this one. I'm pretty happy with that. So then what I do is grab all of these, Control X or cut, and go over into the actual folder, Tire Plus Convention, and just paste all of these on top. Now before I do this, again, I'll show you the actual file size. So I'll go into my properties. So we're going 123 gigs, and then we replace the files. We open it up again. It still says 123 gigs, which is strange because I replaced them all. I check them all in here. 97.2 gigs, so 78 files in here. Did I actually move them all across? That is the question. Not all of them. Not this one. Probably because it was open in Premiere. So I'm just going to quit out of that. I'll put these two in there as well. Not the proxies one, in the OG. So they're replacing the original files. And now I check again. 1.59 gigs. So that's 123 minus 1.59. So I just saved 121 gigabytes without actually really affecting the footage at all. So you can see that they're all in the same place, they all have the same file names, so Premiere will just auto link to them, and that is how it's done. And I go ahead and jump on here, and I've got a whole bunch of extra free space there that I can play around with. One other thing that you can do as well is in Glary, in your Glary disk space analyzer. So we'll just quickly run this, show you something else, that you can clear out all of the temporary files from Premiere and After Effects. And this is for your local drive. So go see, like you'll find that when you sort by size on your C drive, it'll more than likely be Adobe's temp folders that are actually taking up all of the space anyway. So you can just delete this one, 45 gigs right there. So that's kind of what you want as well. Once it deletes them, you just empty your recycle bin. So this is coming off the C drive. It's got 116 gigs free. So all of those temp files are gone, and it's cleared up a whole bunch of space in here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what you want. That's pretty much all for this video. If you liked it, please do hit the thumbs up. If you really liked it and you want to see more of these, feel free to hit the playlist and check out the rest of our Tuesday tutorials, or hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and make sure that you get notified when we drop a new video. Other than that, yeah, have a good one, stay productive, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.